Welcome back, everyone. It's Charlie. We finally got some good news about Spider-Man 4. We learned some of the characters that are coming back, how this is all going to work with Avengers 6 Secret Wars, the big reboot that Marvel is doing in the MCU, and what Tom Holland's future as Spider-Man is actually going to look like, and what's going on with live-action Miles Morales. We do still have Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse coming out in 2025 now because it was delayed just a little bit, and we've got the Spider-Man 2 game with Miles Morales, which just came out. It's connected to the Spider-Verse movies. So we'll explain what's going on with everything, and because they just released the game, we're giving away a couple of copies. All you have to do to enter is be a subscriber and just let me know what you want them to do with live-action Miles Morales on the video. Starting with the big stuff first, of course Tom Holland is back. Even though there's an actor strike right now as of me posting this video, he signed his new Spider-Man deal for more movies before the actor strike started earlier this year. That was for the next trilogy of movies, Spider-Man 4, 5, and 6, and some non-Spider-Man Marvel movies like Avengers 5 and Avengers 6. That's one of the few reasons why Tom Holland didn't do the voice of Spider-Man during the What If series, and why he's not doing the voice during the Spider-Man Freshman Year series. That'd be the same actor that did Spider-Man during the What If series, like he'll just continue playing animated Spider-Man. But Freshman Year will feature the MCU Spider-Man. It'll just be a variant of the character in another universe, so like all the characters will be just like a little bit different, but it'll be based on MCU Tom Holland Spider-Man. That's actually going to be dropping at some point during 2025, the same year that Spider-Man 4 is supposed to come out. Also the same year that Beyond the Spider-Verse is coming out, so they're like three big Spider-Man things that are coming out that year right now. 2025 Spider-Man fans gonna be eating good. Despite the actor strike still going on as of me posting this video today, Sony and Marvel are still supposed to begin production of Spider-Man 4 by the end of this year, 2023, so that they can release the movie by summer 2025. That's the current release date they're trying to hit. But Spider-Man 4 coming out in 2025 would mean that it comes out right after the new Fantastic Four movie, but before Avengers 5 Kang Dynasty. Right now, Marvel hasn't said what a lot of its 2025 movies, 2026 movies are going to be, besides like Fantastic Four and the next Avengers movies. There'll be at least two other Marvel movies they release in 2025, so they'll name those pretty soon. Probably going to be like the Blade movie, maybe the Iron Man Armor Wars movie. We'll see. There've been a bunch of recent delays because of the strike, so Marvel just hit the pause button on announcing new projects. Probably one of the biggest surprises, or maybe it's not a surprise to you, Jon Watts is expected to come back and direct Spider-Man 4. I thought that he had left because he wanted to do other stuff, but this was a couple years ago when Spider-Man Far From Home came out now. Like, it's been a couple years. He was briefly attached to the brand new Fantastic Four movie, but then he did the Star Wars Skeleton Crew series with Jude Law. That's done, by the way. They've finished it. They'll release it sometime in 2024. It's connected to The Mandalorian and the Ahsoka series. The reason why he did that Star Wars series is actually because of his relationship with Jon Favreau, who's Happy Hogan in all the Spider-Man movies. They were actually talking, and because he's kind of like the Kevin Feige of that Mandalorian Star Wars universe, he's like, hey, why don't you come have a Star War with me? And he was like, okay, sure, I'll come do a Star Wars series. We'll probably get a trailer for that sometime early next year. My assumption is that Sony and Marvel were so worried about all the recent issues they've had with quality control, with the movies, the series during the pandemic era of filmmaking, that they wanted a guaranteed thing with their new director in Spider-Man 4. Like, they wanted to start off this new Spider-Man trilogy on a really strong foot. The last two Spider-Man movies earned over $1 billion. Spider-Man No Way Home earned almost $2 billion.
Give me rent. You'll get your rent when you fix this damn door!
So Sony is like, please come back. They probably backed up a dump truck of money to Jon Watts' house. Like, come back and do this for us just to get us started off on the right foot. No idea if he's also going to direct Spider-Man 5 and Spider-Man 6. It's a little too soon to tell. Here's where we get to the returning characters just beyond Tom Holland's Spider-Man, and a lot of these details were actually revealed by Amy Pascal, like the lead producer on the Sony side of things, way earlier this year at the Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse premiere, so we've actually known about some of these details for a while. Is that Zendaya is coming back as her version of MJ, should be a main character again, despite Doctor Strange's spell and everything that happened in the Spider-Man No Way Home ending and post-credit scenes. She'll just continue to be part of his orbit while he's trying to be Spider-Man and be Peter Parker and go to college during the day. Early theory is that he'll probably wind up having to save her a couple of times, and he'll be around her during the day, and things between them will play out similarly to the way they did before, where she starts to notice weird inconsistencies and coincidences, and she figures out that he is Spider-Man all by herself again. The only way to explain her being a main character again, because the movie's going to take place in the New York City area, would be if she loses any chance of a scholarship to MIT and thus can't afford to pay tuition and has to go to a local New York City college, because that's a pretty common story. There are a lot of my friends in real life that had that problem too, like really smart people that got into Ivy League colleges but just couldn't pay the massive tuition. Peter was getting his GED at the end of the movie because all memory of him was erased, so it's like he never attended school, so that's why he had to get the GED in the first place, and he'll use that to get into a local New York City college, like the comics and like the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies. The other big news is from Kevin Feige, and he revealed that the plot of Daredevil Born Again will figure heavily into the events of Spider-Man 4.
I have a strong feeling that, and I've said this since I started the Netflix show, so this is not a big deal, that eventually I'm going to kick Spider-Man's ass.
Marvel actually just hit the big reset button on Daredevil Born Again. They're still going to eventually make the series, but it'll look like completely different from what they were making before this. So Daredevil Born Again had been delayed just a little bit. Cannot wait to see Daredevil and Spider-Man team up to fight Kingpin, and for Kingpin to try and squish him some Spider-Man. Of course, I will do videos for everything, and I will do videos for all the episodes when they start releasing them. Kingpin isn't meant to be the main villain of Spider-Man 4. He'll just be doing his thing, trying to get rid of vigilantes like Spider-Man, or calling Spider-Man a vigilante. Technically, he's a hero, but he's kind of like a vigilante like Daredevil. So Spider-Man will be dealing with that, like he'll be on the outs with the law because they'll be coming after him, trying to get rid of vigilantes, while he's also trying to defeat the regular villains in the movie. It's a very Spider-Man, very Daredevil type of problem to have. Like, how do you save everyone when everyone thinks that you're the bad guy, when technically that's not true? Like, how do you prove that you are the good guy? It all plays into the whole idea that they're taking Spider-Man 4 in a more friendly neighborhood Spider-Man direction, away from all the Iron Man high-level Avengers stuff, but he will still be in Avengers 5, Kang Dynasty, and Secret Wars and all that big stuff too. It's just that they're taking the character back to a more comic book original Spider-Man type of territory, less tech-based Spider-Man. Really good examples of that were Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man and Andrew Garfield's versions of Spider-Man. They also recently revealed that they're making a live-action Miles Morales movie, like hot off the presses, live-action Miles Morales, and a Spider-Gwen spin-off movie with Haley Steinfeld's version of the character. There have been rumors in the past that they were going to do live-action Miles Morales in the MCU during Spider-Man 4 because the apartment that he moves into has Hispanic neighbors, so people were like, wait a minute, is that Miles Morales' family that just lives in his building with him? We already know a version of Miles Morales exists in the MCU. During the movie Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, MCU Aaron Davis also shows up in Spider-Man 2099's prison. He had just become the Prowler during Spider-Man Homecoming, so it's like in the time since then he started wearing the Prowler armor. There was also a deleted scene during Spider-Man Homecoming where he specifically mentions Miles Morales.
Hate this dude, man. Yeah, sorry, Miles. I'm not gonna make it. Yeah, I'm just stuck.
But I'm just excited for us to introduce Miles into our own universe one day. I think that's going to be really cool.
Should be wild.
Yeah,
Should be a wild.
That all took place well before Avengers Infinity War in the snap, and there were a lot of theories that they just used the 5-year time jump to age that version of Miles Morales up a little bit faster. Now, Shameik Moore, who also plays Miles Morales in the Spider-Verse movies, said that he's trying to get the job as the live-action version of Miles Morales. Like, I already play a version of him, and he's in his late 20s, so he's a little bit older, but it wouldn't be hard for them to play him a little bit younger.
I saw, Shameik, you said that if they do live action Miles Morales, which I think the writing's on the wall, it's going to happen at some point, you want to do it, right?
Do I want to do it? Absolutely.
Hell yeah. So if they wanted to do Spider-Gwen and Jessica Drew in live action, would you guys be game?
Yeah.
I don't know if his comments are meant to be a misdirect and they're already planning to use him as the live-action version, or if they've already planned on casting a completely different actor. Because during Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, they mix so many live-action versions of Spider-Man into the movie in related characters like MCU Prowler. It supports the theory that some of the Spider-Verse versions of the characters will just transition into live-action for Avengers Secret Wars cameos. And speaking of live-action crossover, because she plays Kate Bishop, she was also talking about her version of Kate Bishop meeting the live-action version of her Spider-Gwen. Let me know in the comments, though, what do you want them to do with the live-action version of Miles Morales? Because they need a version of Spider-Man for all these Sinister Six spin-offs that they're developing, like in the Morbius post-credit scene, they talk about a version of Spider-Man. They're mostly talking about Tom Holland's Spider-Man, but they need a version of Spider-Man for them to fight in those Sony spin-off movies. Still kind of hoping that that winds up being Andrew Garfield, but we'll see. I know a lot of you are wondering what Tom Holland's future at Marvel is, if they're going to do a big soft reboot with Avengers Secret Wars. The whole idea is that he's going to stay as Spider-Man. Nothing's going to change about that. They're not really changing his backstory with the soft reboot or anything like that. They're just using that to retune some of the other characters, recast actors if they need to, bring back some core characters who are played by actors who died in real life. Sort of like a big house cleaning for Marvel so that they can make the universe look more like the true 616 universe where like the X-Men, the Fantastic Four, the Avengers characters all coexisted on the same planet always the same time. So you don't run into that problem like during Avengers Endgame where people are like, how come the Eternals didn't help out during Avengers Secret Wars? How come the X-Men didn't help out during Secret Wars? Where were they this whole time? So for the most part, none of that is going to affect Tom Holland's Spider-Man. There's a bunch of big stuff coming up. My full Loki Season 2 Episode 4 video will post later this week after they release it, so be sure to enable alerts for my channel so you don't miss that. Click here for that video. I'll update the link as soon as I post that, and click here to learn about the big Marvel reboot that's going to be happening. Thank you so much for watching. Everyone stay safe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.